Good morning. Happy Monday. I am doing another vlog this week, and I feel like I have been really inspired by two YouTubers specifically. One being Steph Borough, who I've already spoken about in one of my vlogs, and then the other being Brogan Tate. And the similarity they have there is they have very chatty vlogs, and that is something that I want to do. I want to do less of the chatty travel stuff on Instagram Reels and TikTok, and I want to do it more on YouTube, and I want to focus more on YouTube in general and use Instagram and TikTok for more short form stuff, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be focusing a lot more on YouTube. I'm currently recording on my phone because I think my camera is not charged at the moment, but that's okay. I'm going to leave it on charge whilst I go to the gym today and go on base. I wanted to talk to you guys about a book that I recently finished and a book that I'm currently reading. I have been so inspired by book talkers recently, and actually more specifically girlies just talking about books on YouTube. Like, obsessed. I could listen to that all freaking day. So here are my books that I'm currently reading / recently finished, and I'm just going to take you through them quick. A book that I finished actually last night is this one. It is one that I picked up from a book swap shelf when we were at our prior base, and we recently got our TMO. Something that I want to try and do is get through all of these books that I brought with me so I can sell them or give them to friends, and I just want to get through them. This one was the first pick. It is called Being Dead by Vivian von Veld. It has a couple of stories within this book specifically, and Being Dead is the last short story in there. I really love the first one, and they're all seemingly ghost stories, but they're written in a way where it's not horror, it's more like suspense, but it includes ghosts. I don't know how to describe it. I would recommend this book. I would probably give it a 3.5 if I realistically had to. It's not a 4 where I'm I would like to pick it up consistently and read it, but it's a good read. The book that I am now reading is actually one that I could not wait to read because as a military spouse, deployments, TDYs, long distance with the service member hits hard. And this idea is so incredibly unique that I'm so glad that this author has written about it and came up with this idea. It is called Dinner with the Smileys, One Military Family, 1 Year of Heroes, and Lessons for a Lifetime. And if I just read you the blurb. The week before Thanksgiving 2011, Dustin Smiley left for a year-long military deployment. Soon after, his son Ford, 11, invited Senator Susan Collins to fill his dad's chair at dinner. On January 3rd, 2012, Senator Collins came to dinner and bought brownies. So began Dinner with the Smileys, nationally syndicated columnist Sarah Smiley's 52-week commitment to fill her husband's place at the family dinner table with interesting people. From school teachers to Olympians, professional athletes to famous authors, comedians to politicians, and unique role models for her 3 sons, even as she knew Dustin's seat could not truly be filled until he was home again for the 53rd dinner. Why dinner? Because dinner time is often the loneliest time for people living alone. That was the fate Sarah feared for herself and her children during Dustin's absence. So she opened her home and she and the kids sent invitations, and they found that a surprising number of people really are available for dinner. You just have to ask. In a time where popular culture leads us to believe that the family dinner table is dead, Dinner with the Smileys shows that time spent with family, friends, and neighbors is still very much part of American life. I started reading this and it is so heartwarming. And for a family who is trying to give our future kids more of a childhood that we had back in the early 2000s / late 90s, and giving ourselves a parenthood that we experienced as a more 90s, 2000s parenthood, this is probably the perfect book to be reading. Also, I've grown so accustomed to trying to spend my days whilst my husband is at work doing something different. And so hosting has been something that I've been really wanting to do. And I'm actually hosting for the first time this week for a lunch at our house with my friends. And we're doing a little games night. So I feel like I'm going to be really inspired with this book right here. And it's a book that I consistently want to pick up. So far, a 4 out of 5 stars. A little update. I don't know how much I can give you in terms of like news and updates, but my husband and I may be experiencing long distance soon. I'm not going to give you too many details because I'm not allowed to say. It is probably going to be our first time experiencing long distance in a while. Like, we haven't been long distance since we met and we're dating. So it is going to be a little tough, but as soon as we find out for sure that this is going to happen, which, by the way, it will be an incredible opportunity for my husband, I am going to make a list of all the things that I want to do, of all the things that I want to make him or like try making for him when it comes to like food, and really make the most of my time and then surprise him when he comes back. So that is the plan, and that is what sort of like we're expecting, but we don't really know yet. And that's where we're at. So yeah, I am going to get ready for the gym, and don't worry, this is going to be a pretty chatty vlog. So if that's something that you're interested in, keep watching. Hello, I am showered. I'm ready to have a semi-productive day because I do feel a little bit tired, but that's okay. So the plan is I want to unpack all these boxes. I want to prioritize putting the clothes away and finally getting rid of like all the boxes that we have, because the office space is just full of moving boxes. There's a lot. I also need to mention that during the PCS process, most of our stuff got here. We are actually missing one box of things, which apparently is books, but I don't remember bringing 2 boxes of books. However, there may have been books. So they lost that box, and we are going to have to file for a refund. We don't know how much that is going to be just yet, but there is definitely going to be a refund. It may be a bit of a slow process. I didn't actually manage to read on my Kindle in the gym. It was really busy and there were no treadmills available. So I went on the bike, and I was like, it's going to be really difficult reading on the bike. So I didn't do that. However, as I prep my smoothie or as I'm like folding the clothes, I may just get my Kindle out and read for a little bit. I also want to clean up the kitchen today and make my husband some hummus, or us some hummus, I guess, to share, but I want to surprise my husband making hummus. So that's the plan. I am going to go pray because I just got out of the shower and I feel like I haven't prayed in a while. And I feel like I haven't read scripture in a while. So I am going to get back onto my scripture study. I miss it. I miss having that kind of routine. And now that all the scriptures are here, I'm ready to just share what I'm learning in the process on YouTube like I used to do. As well as that, I want to start creating resources for our future kids on our Sanatani Hindu faith. And if you guys have any examples of those, I would love to see them. If not, I am trying to make some for our kids as soon as they get to that learning age. But examples are just like making flashcards of different Bhagwans or Matajis and writing on the back of them like what they represent. But I do want to make it more fun and interactive, if that makes sense. So I'm still in that process of figuring out how I want those resources to look. But for now, I want to make a little book or journal of things that I've been learning and things that I want to pass on to our kids. That is something that I want to work on as like a long-term goal. I also want to pass my Bhagavad Gita on to our kids one day when they're old enough to like properly read and understand and do scripture study. But during their young age, that's not going to happen. Let's go pray. So scripture-wise, I actually want to do that a little bit later and give it proper time. I feel like I want to read the Ramayana today, and I don't force myself to read a certain scripture. It is whatever scripture that I feel like reading and taking lessons from. So today is a Ramayana, but I'm going to do that once I clean up a little bit, just because I want to get the vacuum going and just start tidying up a little bit. So we're gonna do that later. However, I will make time for it today. I will, I promise. I do have a few things to still put up. So we have these, which I want to put on the edge of the mandir, and then we have smaller little decorative pieces that I also want to put somewhere. I'm feeling the mirror, so it's kind of reflective of the mandir, but I don't know yet. I'm gonna give it time. I also forgot to unpack Ganpati Bappa from Badu's little case, but we have a Ganpati Dada that Badu had in his old car, and it is back. We're so happy to have him back. We now have two, actually we have three Ganpati Dadas. We have one currently in the car, we have this one, and then we have our bigger one. Let's get going on the cleaning up. I'm probably not going to record this bit because I just want to get stuff off the floor right now, and then let Badu know when to start the vacuum. So these are the resources. I have a YouTube video going on, but I need to turn that off. I literally turned it on for the sake of cleaning. I'm going to start with the Ramayana and then go on to doing my daily journaling and then start cleaning for sure.
Go casually strolling into my life at just the right time, and as you know.
So the vacuum is still going, ignore it. It may just be in the background of these clips, but I finished doing some scripture study and I wanted to share a little bit where Hanuman Dada was searching for Sita Ma in Lanka. And so I just wanted to read you some of this part. When Hanuman had completed his search of Ravana's palace without finding a trace of Sita, he concluded that she must no longer be alive. Hanuman became saddened at heart. He wondered what he would tell the other monkeys, who were anxiously awaiting his return. However, Hanuman fought his depression by reminding himself that unwavering determination is the only cause for success. Still hoping for the best, he continued to search the places that remained uncovered. And this little one line stood out to me because I feel like it's such an important lesson in anything. It says, Hanuman fought his depression by reminding himself that unwavering determination is the only cause for success. By that, we are talking about perseverance and, as I said, determination. If you don't persevere and if you just give up on the first, the second, the third go, you're never going to get to that final goal that you've set. So remind yourself of Hanuman Dada's lesson and know that he will do everything to stand by your side as you persevere to achieve your goals. Okay, so I had lunch and right now I am just organizing clothes from the boxes that we have opened. This is my walk-in closet. So let's do a quick tour. Ignore these clothes. These are the ones that I'm winding up, but I have my pajamas over here, my bottoms. So this is skirts, shorts, jeans and trousers. These are vests and things to wear under your clothing. I have my tank tops, my short sleeve tops, long sleeve, and then winter wear-ish. I have my cultural wear here. Bags, coats, and more sweaters. We've got gym wear all down here. We have winter clothing here. And then we've got miscellaneous, so belts, swimwear, that kind of stuff. And then coming out of the closet, I have a little bit of extra space where I can put my dresses. So these are all the dresses. I am going to do a little try on to see what I want to get rid of. I definitely want to get rid of this black one. And maybe this one too. I don't know yet what else I want to get rid of, if anything, but that is the update for now. This is a pile of stuff that I have yet to organize.
I was thinking about calling it quits with love, but then you showed up.
So I sorted through all the boxes, all the cardboard boxes, and they're literally just piled up here in the office. I did put like one within each other to make it a little tidier. So now I'm on to sorting all these clothes. Some came from the laundry, some came from the boxes. And I'm gonna fold them and put them all away, tidy up a little bit. And whilst I'm doing that, I am going to read one of the Kindle books that I downloaded. I told you guys that I'm going to start The Cottage on the Hill, or The Little Cottage on the Hill. This book specifically is book one of the Little Cottage series, and it is by Emma Davies. So I'm gonna read this whilst I am folding the clothes.
Oh, my heart had had enough.
I don't know how long later. The clothes are folded. The plan is that I need to get some chili oil from the grocery store across the road because we made khichdi yesterday, and honestly we were really excited about having khichdi. And Badu did really well considering that like we haven't made it since like TMO left. So it's been a while since he's made it. And he did really great, but he wants to make it a little spicier, less moru, and like, you know, give it a kick. So he's gonna work on that today when he comes home. But before he does, I just want to go pick up the chili oil, so it's ready for when he comes home. So I need to get dressed a little bit. Just put on some jeans maybe because it is a little bit colder today, which is good actually because I like colder weather as opposed to warmer weather, but I'm a diehard fall girl. Use that information how you will. But I am going to get changed and go on a grocery run. I'm gonna take you guys with me. So whilst we're being chatty here, I do want to talk to you guys about something that has been on my mind lately, and that is the fact that living overseas is not how everyone portrays it sometimes. I do love living overseas, and like for the most part, it's such an adventure, but there's always a part of me that is like, I would love to just settle down in the States. And more recently, that feeling has been coming up quite a lot. The part of not having a job and not having stability and all that kind of stuff does make me think of just wanting something more permanent. And I get it, like being stateside is also not hugely permanent, but it is a little more permanent than being overseas. However, with that being said, I do think part of it is the fact that, sorry for the weird look, part of it is the fact that like I haven't lived overseas really, because if you think about it, my husband and I met whilst he was overseas himself in the UK, and then we got married and everything in the UK, like got Bella in the UK, and so this is the first time like me myself am moving to a completely new country. And whilst my husband has lived overseas prior, this is both of our first times living overseas together and in a country that is vastly different from the UK, because the UK made it easier on Badu because everyone obviously speaks English there, and so communication isn't like a huge deal, whereas after coming here we had to learn a lot about like communication and a whole different culture. So I think some of that has made me feel the way I feel about living overseas, but the majority of it is the fact that like working is difficult and all of that kind of stuff just sometimes gets to me because I see the lives that people live stateside and I'm like, dang, I would love to be there right now. But you know what? The grass is always greener. So as much as I would love to be stateside right now, I am making the most of what God has given us, because whilst we were in the UK, we would pray over the fact that we get to continue living overseas, and that is what he gave us. So I am not wasting that for anything. Less being chatty, more getting ready. And obviously I have to dress myself up to go grocery shopping because whilst I was folding laundry, your girl looked like a mess. Just saying. To add on to the conversation of being stateside again, I do think part of it is the fact that I miss East Coast summers so much. Being stateside, obviously you don't get to choose where you're gonna live. So grass is not always greener with the life that you truly wish, you know? I want to be stateside sometimes, but that doesn't necessarily mean stateside of where I actually want to live. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, I'm ready to go out and I'm taking the camera with me because why the hell not? We have the chili oil. Mission completed. Let's chat again. I have my coffee. I actually got this mug from a career conference that me and my friends went to, and they inscribed our names on them, which I think is really cute. Plan for today is more so cleaning the house because my friends are coming over on Thursday. Most of the house is a mess, so we're gonna need to clean up. I also have decided that Sundays are going to be my body reset days. I'm gonna do the whole shebang. I am going to laser, I'm going to do my skincare, face mask, I'm going to do my nails, and yesterday I painted my nails. I have these cute little oranges that I painted on. I'm so proud of myself. I then messaged my friends being like, you guys, I did this nail art and I love them, I'm proud of them, I'm obsessed with them so much, and I want to practice on other people so I can get better at it and more proficient. They luckily were like, yeah, we'll help you out. Hopefully at some point I can do my friend's nails. I'm not great with my left hand. They turned out a little botched, but my right hand is okay. Before I go to the gym today with my friends, I am kitten sitting again for my husband's friend. He is not here. He hasn't been here for a while, but he's coming back soon. I'm not gonna say dates and stuff because that's not gonna happen, but he does miss his boy though. So we're taking good care of him, and I go to, or Badu, it depends on our schedules, but either I or Badu go to feed him in the mornings and play with him for a little bit. So that is the plan, and I'm gonna come home, shower, have a smoothie for lunch, and then go and clean the house. Pretty much. And you guys are coming with me. A few things I wanted to actually mention on living or preparing to start living a 90s motherhood. I've talked all about starting the mornings listening to the radio, which has been super, I wouldn't say motivating, but it has taken me back to my childhood when we used to listen to the radio, especially in the car. We didn't really used to listen to the radio back at home that I can remember, but I do remember having this one clock that would play the radio. I've been listening to the radio, listening to more specifically the Nantucket radio stations, and they've really been giving 90s vibes. But then today I was listening to it, and one of the songs from, I think it was The Great Divide. I think it was Great Divide that was playing, and it came on. I remember how I wanted to talk to you guys about that album. It's definitely for the girlies who have moved countries and restarted their lives over and over again. It's for the military spouses. The Great Divide is for the military spouses who have moved their lives over and over again, and they're just trying to live their life as normally as possible. And I just kind of wanted to get it out there because I was I resonate on that part so much. And I've been loving listening to his new album. I've been taking it slowly. More of the songs I've been saving onto my road trip to the Pacific Northwest Spotify playlist because that's what it's been giving to me. But I've also got a coastal playlist ready, and some of the songs have been going in there. So yeah, it's a lot of mixes, but I've been loving that album so much. This April, I'm actually going to be starting on a new journal because this one is basically filled up pretty much. I have a few pages left in here, but I'm really excited to collect more stickers. Something that I've actually seen on TikTok is people like writing the dates of which the journal's been used over here. So I might do that. I started this journal September of 2025, I'm pretty sure. Yes. And it hasn't even taken me a year to fill it up, which has actually been great. I will pick up the camera and vlog once I'm leaving for the gym.
Being mistreated, lying there in pieces. Too good to call it luck. You appeared when I needed, gave me back that feeling. It happened.
Okay, we finally made it. I'm just washing his food bowl out, and what we do is we replace his food, we refill his water, and then every few days we do his litter as well. He has quite a big litter box, so it doesn't matter too much. When I have time, I'm like, I'll just do it even though I don't really need to. And he has quite a big litter box, so we're okay to like replace it every couple days. With Bella's, it's a little different because her litter box is smaller. But now that we have the Robo one, she really loves that one. We just do it every single day. He also ran out of his food, but this is the one that his friend normally gets. It's Shiba, but the Korean version that we get off base. He is hungry. Let's go feed little Tofu. I am in a little bit of a rush, so final thing I'm gonna do is do his water, play with him for a little bit, and then leave. He is deaf. He doesn't notice until I tap something he's sitting on or like tap him. He's not great when like he doesn't see someone after eating his food, and he gets a little nervous, I think. I'm not too sure, but we try and be there after he's eaten, so he at least knows we're gone. He has been eating a lot quicker recently, which is good. It just means I get more time to play with him and he gets a little more company. Okay. Oh, that's your water. All right, I'll pick back up after I leave and head towards the gym. We just finished a gym session. I'm doing YouTube. I'm doing a new weekly vlog thing. Just finished a gym session. Good.
Like good.
Good gym session.
Good.
Alini's here too. And now we're heading back home. I need to clean up the house for Thursday, so. Good morning. It is a lovely little Tuesday outside. The clouds are out and it is gloomy, which I'm kind of grateful for sometimes because the heat does get to me. And as I may have previously mentioned, I am a fall girl, so clouds are absolutely fine with me. I had a little issue with my nails today where like they are just completely coming clean off. I have one on here, and I looked it up and apparently you need to like buff them out and use acetone. I don't have acetone, but I might try taking these off, trying a new art on my nails and seeing how that goes, because truly and honestly, I'm taking this as an opportunity to redesign my nails. So I'm looking at it in a positive manner. Today, the plan is I have a shadow shift at the USO. So I need to complete the course that they gave me, the training stuff that is online, and then go for the shadow shift. I also have Zumba with my friends later on. So I am going to just hang around, do something whilst I wait for my Zumba class, but I'm really excited. It's going to be Hot Girls Do Zumba Day. I also want to attempt making Mexican pizza and hummus today because I'm making Mexican pizza for the girls, obviously, and then I want to surprise Badu with hummus and pita chips that he can snack on. So that is the plan. I'm gonna do or try to do as much as I can before 10, leave at 10, go feed the kitten, and then head on over to the USO. Sound good? Sounds good.
But it's close to it. Yeah. If you head anywhere, those you're all together, and certainly you'll hear
have jeans on for the shift, and then I've brought like trackies to wear for the Zumba class. So I'm pretty much ready. I just wanted to introduce you to this one song. I have been obsessed with playing the game Lake on my husband's PS5. And there's this one song that comes up on the radio every time she's in her like post truck. What is it called? Like the truck that she drives around to deliver like post. And I am so obsessed with this song. I just wanted to play it for you. It is called Witchcraft by Thyra, and this is literally it. I am going to add this to my fall playlist, as well as maybe like my Hallmark's movies like intro playlist, because it's very like small townsy. So that's it. I am going to leave. I'm not gonna bring you guys with me on my camera, but I'm gonna use my phone to film.
There I go, falling right into your arms as if it's where I'm meant to stay.
We're back. We are back from Zumba. I feel really strong after Zumba for some reason. Like today I feel like I really gave it my all, which is great, especially with like the new songs that they kind of do. The instructor does one new song each week, and so I feel like I'm getting into the rhythm of memorizing steps quicker, in my opinion. I don't know if that's actually true. I feel like I'm getting better. I also really enjoy the Zumba class because it's more dancey than the regular like Zumba steps. The instructor just does it really well. She's also active duty. She does it as part of a way to train for her PT. So I think it's really creative. I love it, and everyone who comes really enjoys it too. And the class actually has a few repeat members, including me and my friends who come each week. So it's really nice to be able to make friends with people who are very similar. I've noticed that since I started going to the gym more regularly, my shoulders have become more how they were when I was a kid. I used to hate how broad my shoulders are, and now I love it. I've been trying to be better at training my back, and something I want to start incorporating once my arms get a little stronger is pull-ups on the assisted pull-up machine, but that's maybe a future goal. We don't know yet. I also want to start running more. I feel like I get lazy with running, so that's something also needs improving. I am going to go take a shower and then make a smoothie and start making Badu's hummus. I'm really excited. I'm so excited to make him hummus. I keep looking here at the screen to see how much I'm like sweating and gross. Also, bye. Hello, you guys. So I just got out of the shower and I chilled for a little bit because I feel tired for some reason. I am going to start actually make my roasted red pepper hummus for tomorrow's girls meetup. I also need to tidy the house because it is still a mess. I just want to get this ready first, so I only have to make the Mexican pizza tomorrow. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make it, probably on TikTok. What am I gonna do? No, I'll do it on YouTube this time around because I showed you guys how to make the strawberry lemonade and the strawberries and cream redone, I guess, on TikTok. So this is going to be a YouTube only thing.
As it showed, I was still all caught up in the past, and yet you would still wait.
So, funny story. Being British, we've always called chickpeas chickpeas and not garbanzo beans. The naming is ridiculously new to me. So whenever the first few times we went shopping and were intending on buying chickpeas, I got so confused because all I read was garbanzo beans. So just a little tad funny story. What I'm gonna do is I have 2 cans of chickpeas. I'm gonna make a little extra and then leave 1 can to make something else. We got the roasted red peppers in here. I've kept some out for like decorating the hummus. So I am going to put these all in the blender with tahini and some lemon juice and a few extra things. Taste sound.
Too good to call
Avocado.
it you.
I'm gonna do like 1.5 quarter cup.
On the ceiling. You knew it after one that
my battery is running low, so I'm gonna charge it and you're probably gonna see the final outcome once I'm done. I'll see you on the flip side.
Too soon to call it love, but I called you the second you left my place. Right after that.
Good morning. I am on hosting duties today. My friends are coming over for a Nintendo games afternoon, and then Base is doing like a Republic of Korea day. Meaning they have like stalls for like food, for crafts, they have performances going on. From around 2 o'clock onwards, we're gonna go to that. Before that, I do have hosting duties. So I'm gonna need to leave in about an hour or so, meaning I might get a little bit of time to read. It's okay if not, because I read last night and I managed to go through another chapter of Dinner with the Smileys. And so far they've had teachers, they've had a musician, I think, they've had an artist, they've had a few family friends, they've had a senator. I have been highlighting places where like I could learn from as a future mom and as a military spouse, when my husband finally goes on a deployment or TDY. So I did highlight a few things. I came across a few and then I just skipped them. So I've got everything highlighted over here. It is by month, so they're inviting 4 people per month, meaning 1 person per week. And something that stood out to me is when my husband is not here, not at home, not with me, I want to do something where he can always kind of catch up on our lives through a specific way, if that makes sense. So for example, they've done Dinner with the Smileys, and so when their husband like calls them, he has a way of knowing kind of what's happening, because he knows that they invite 1 person per week, and so they have conversation and they have ways to update about their lives as well as tell him about the dinner itself. And then something else that stood out for me is this part where one of her older kids was annoyed at his mom about something. I can't remember what. I think he said he would be okay if his mom wasn't there but his dad was, and his mom wanted to, like, of course, cry because the mom has been raising the kids since the dad has gone on deployment, and that hasn't been just the one deployment that he did go on during this book, but he's been on a few beforehand. One thing that her husband says is let him have his feelings without him feeling guilty for yours, which I thought was beautiful. Final thing that stood out to me, this was when they had one of their teachers over, and the mom, the author, was like, why don't parents do this more often? Why don't parents hold better relationships with their kids' teachers? Because, and she says here, teachers hold keys to their growth and development that I can never access. I don't often see them with a large group of peers. I don't see the way they interact in a lunchroom full of friends, or how they respond when they answer incorrectly in class or trip over their shoelaces. Why would I not share a meal with a person who knows my child in a completely different environment from the one I know them in at home? I thought that was really beautiful. I am on chapter April, which I don't think I'm gonna do today. I'm probably gonna leave it for another day. If you guys want like specific book talk stuff from the books that I'm reading, let me know. I'm also listening to this one audiobook on Libby. If you guys don't know and are part of the military community and have like a DOD, DOW, ID. You can get Libby through your base library, which is pretty cool, and you can borrow audiobooks, magazines, books online for free. So I'm actually borrowing 2 now because one of the ones that I had on hold have just come in. The first one, okay, here's the thing. I listened to the first Vampire Diaries book. I was like, meh on it. I didn't know how I felt about it. It was more so like characters sometimes didn't match up. Who's Meredith in the book? Don't know. And then there's Caroline, but she's sort of separated from the group for some reason. So I'm gonna try the second book. It's called The Struggle. And then I'm also reading this book right here, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Interesting, and I love the southern accent that the ladies do in this. It's about this one lady, Patricia Campbell, and her mother-in-law is currently living with them because she needs to be cared for. And her one thing that she always looks forward to is her book club with all of her friends in Charleston. And they talk about everything, like literally everything. In their neighborhood, they have this elderly lady who later on in the book gets cared for by her, I think, nephew. Yeah, nephew. His name's James Harris. And Patricia gets attracted to him. But then Patricia's mother-in-law insists that she's seen this guy somewhere. Like, she's seen him before when she was a little girl. And I'm just gonna read. When local children go missing, Patricia and the book club members start to suspect James is more of a Bundy than a beatnik. But no one outside of the book club believes them. Have they read too many true crime books, or have they invited a real monster into their homes? I'm so excited. Right now, it's a little like slow as a book. I don't think this Patrick guy has come in yet, but they have talked about the elderly aunt. So I'm hoping he comes in soon. I am going to start getting ready to go because when I come back, I need to clean up a little more and get the vacuum going. So that is a plan. I also need to go feed Tofu before doing anything else. So most likely I'm getting a taxi to base and then getting a taxi back. I hope you are enjoying these talking, chatty videos because I am. I love chatting with you guys. And when I look back on these videos, I sort of know what's happening on a more regular day-to-day. I'm gonna get ready and I will see you guys when I am leaving for base. Luckily, I managed to get a taxi from our apartment, which is, we found it rare to be able to get taxis from there, but I did okay. Like the last 2 times I requested it. I'm here with Tofu. Little Tofu. I'm gonna leave in a little bit, but I fed him and gave him some water. And so now he's just chilling. So I've cleaned up the house and I am making the filling for the Mexican pizza. I've started with some oil and jalapeno and just waiting for that oil to just heat up. In the meantime, I'm listening to some 90s classics on the TV. I am charging up the Nintendo Switch and just waiting for my friends to arrive. I'm really excited. I did decorate a little bit. I will show you that when I get time, but I just want to get this filling for the Mexican pizza made. So I'm gonna show you exactly how I make it. Vegetarian refried beans. And I'm just gonna mix that all together. Put a dog in the hot sauce again. it is nearly the weekend and I had my friends over yesterday. As you saw, we had so much fun. Like, it was so casual, and yet I like really enjoyed hosting. I was cooking Mexican pizzas for them. They were playing Mario Kart. We all played Just Dance. And then we went to the Korean Culture Day. If you guys are Osan Air Base and they do it next year, highly recommend going because I got so many cute little bits, which I'm going to show you quickly. Let me take a seat here. We went to a little fan making stall and we got this cute little fan. They wrote my name in English and then he wrote my name here in Korean and then the date over here. So I'm thinking of putting this up on the wall somewhere. And then my husband also has one of the other things on his bag, but it's like a little lucky charm to put on anything as a key ring, and he has it on his actual like set of car keys. Basically, it has red beans and then a few little like charms inside of a little pouch. The significance of the red beans is that it actually, correct me if I'm wrong, brings you prosperity. Is very good for good luck. So I got that. I have yet to finish it off, but this is meant to make a mood light. I love this wood smell so much. But anyway, what I still need to do is we colored this in. We got 3 for 3 girls. So this is me, this one in the middle, this is Jasmine, and this is Lini. And what we basically have to do is cover this with the paper, obviously like cut around it. Okay, so this is actually meant to come off, and these are like little things to attach this piece to this piece. Finally, we got this stencil postcard thing. I kept calling it a stamp, but my husband was like, they're stencils. And so how it basically worked is there were different stamps with stenciling for each part of this. So there was a stencil for the yellow, a stencil for like this blacky, like dark blue part. There was a stencil for this orange part, and there were basically 6 stencils overall. You start with 1, go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is everything we got. We also saw some cultural shows during our time there. Really, really fun. Like, absolutely loved it. And we got all this stuff that I showed you for free, which I love some good free stuff. I was meant to go to a picnic for my husband's squadron, but not many people are going, so we're not going. And I feel like I have been super motivated to work on some professional goals of mine after my mentoring session this morning. Anywho, I am going to be leaving at around 12 to go feed little Tofu. I might actually leave around 11 to get there for 12. Yeah, that's a better idea. I'll get there for 11. For 12. Leave at 11. In the meantime, I want to read some of my book whilst it is a nice morning outside. I have my little, not Stanley. This isn't a Stanley. This is a little, this is a water bottle. It's really good because it makes me drink a lot of water. And it's got Mickey Mouse on it. I love Disney, so I'm not complaining. Okay, so I didn't film whilst I was walking to my husband's friend's house, but I'm currently playing with little Tofu. And he's just sitting here, chilling. Look at him. I didn't get that much reading done. I maybe got about 2-3 pages in, but how I consider reading is like, as long as you're completing a few pages at a time, you're constantly learning, right? So I'm good with just reading 2 or 3 pages or like 2 or 3 chapters a day. It is completely what I feel like. So my husband did message earlier in the day saying that there was this squadron picnic, but not a lot of his people are going, so we might not be going. But then I messaged him right now being like, let's just go. If there's good food, there's good food, you know, like that's the positive of the event. He hasn't responded back to me, so I don't know the full like what we're doing today, but if not, I might go to the library in a little bit and get some like professional development stuff done that I was working on. LinkedIn, the Google Project Management Certificate. We're just gonna see how we go. So that is the plan. Also, I wanted to show you my outfit real quick because it is warmer than I thought it was going to be outside. It looked super windy, so I thought it was going to be cold. It is warmer. I have this cardigan. Can't remember where I got it, but I got it shortened by my sister-in-law's mother-in-law. She's the sweetest. We love her. She's got so many like hobbies and ways to make money, and honestly, go her. I want to learn how to sew. So we kind of did this actually together. She was teaching me how, and I did a little bit of it. So I just shortened the cardigan a little when we went last, and then I have my jeans and a white like vest top underneath. Super simple. And then my hair was greasy today, so I put it up in this little claw clip updo. This is Tofu. So cute.
My heart had had enough of being mistreated, but then it became guilt.